These are the top 10 variety coins that you can look for from the 1950s. Starting off with a variety that is actually rather easy to find, at least comparatively speaking, in terms of being able to see it clearly with the naked eye. This is the 1959 Franklin half dollar, or the so-called goiter variety, deriving from the placement of a small die break that took place just under Franklin's chin and running parallel to his neck, making it look like he might have a medical condition. Now, this variety is not as rare as some of the others on this list, but it is a fun variety that remains easily saleable in most conditions. In 2022, an example of which was sold at auction by David Lawrence Rare Coins, graded as MS65 with full bell lines for $600. Moving from the end of the decade, then right to the very beginning, with the first Washington quarter to enter the list is a coin from the San Francisco Mint in 1950. In this case, the coin displays doubling on the reverse of the coin. Doubling can be seen on the lower arrows as well as on the leaves of the reef. Now, this specific coin is actually not the best example, as it is an extremely weak strike, but comparing it to another coin of the same variety, the doubling does become more apparent. In 2018, an example of this, graded as MS66 by PCGS, was sold at auction by Heritage for $1,140. The next coin is a Roosevelt Dime from 1953. Here we have a repunched mint mark variety from the San Francisco Mint, and this from a series that has quite a few impressive repunched mint marks to talk about. But here, the initial S can be seen towards the top left of the S mint mark, at least what is left of it. Mostly, only a small part of the top rounding will be detectable, though earlier die state examples do display more details in this regard as well. In 2022, an example of this variety, graded by PCGS as MS67, was sold at auction for $1,200. Then we have a really cool variety from the 1957 D Washington quarter. Now, normally when looking at mint mark varieties, it'll be a repunched mint mark like the one we just looked at, and a few more that are yet to come. But in this case, it is a misplaced mint mark, where the initial punching was so wide apart that you might even miss it if you don't know exactly what to look for. In this case, the initial D was struck in towards the left of the reef, with the top left portion of the D still noticeable. In 2021, this example of the variety, graded by PCGS as MS66+, was sold at auction for a closing sum of $1,860. And then, speaking of fascinating mint mark varieties, here we have one that just practically defies belief, and I can easily make an entire video just about this coin with its multiple mint mark impressions. But for the purposes of this presentation, it's sufficient to say that this 1953 Denver Mint Quarter is a D over D over D over S over S repunched mint mark coin. The easiest way to identify it quickly, though, is to look towards the left of the primary D mint mark, where there should be a remnant of an earlier D mint mark still seen diagonally next to the upright bar of the D. In 2018, an example of this elusive coin was sold at auction in a PCGS lab with the grade of MS66 for $1,920. Next in line is another Franklin half-dollar coin, this time with a repunched mint mark variety in the 1951 S over S coin. On this coin, the mint mark was located just above the Liberty Bell on the reverse of the coin. The remnant of the initial S can be seen directly towards the south of the primary mint mark, in particular just under the lower serif of the letter, as well as the lower left of the top rounding as well. This lovely example of the coin, graded by PCGS as MS67, was sold at auction in 2022 for the amount of $1,920. And now for our first Lincoln penny on this list. However, seemingly not wanting to break the streak, this too is a repunched mint mark coin, specifically the 1953 D over D example, where the D mint mark was struck in over an existing D mint mark. The initial D can clearly be seen towards the left of the main D mint mark, with both serifs as well as the vertical bar of the D seemingly doubled towards the left as a result. This coin is one of the finest known at a grade of MS67 red from PCGS, and in 2020 it was sold at auction by Legend Rare Coins for $3,525. Then it's time to look at a fun little variety that has managed to endear itself to coin collectors both young and old. The Bugs Bunny Franklin half dollar. Technically, this coin is the result of clash dies, where the eagle's wings on the reverse left an impression on the obverse die, making it look like Ben Franklin has a pair of large front teeth, similar to that of Bugs Bunny. Now, the marks can actually appear anywhere between the nose and the mouth, and the dates range from 1948 all the way to 1963, so basically, the entire series. This 1954 example of the coin was graded as MS67 with full bell lines as well by PCGS, and in 2020 it was sold at auction for the sum of $9,600. And then, after all of those repunched mint mark varieties, it is finally time for a nice over mint mark variety to shine. And this 1950 S over D coin is one of the most popular varieties in the Washington series, especially when looking at the 1950s. The underlying D mint mark can clearly still be seen under the primary S mint mark, especially towards the lower left, where the lower serif is now connected to the upper rounding, with a similar effect then also seen on the opposite side as well. Though this is a popular coin, the auction record for the type belongs to the sale of a coin in 2013, where a PCGS graded MS67 coin was sold at auction for $16,450. And then, on a similar vein, and also found on the 1950 Washington Quarter, we have the D over S over mint mark variety, where the S mint mark was impressed first and then overstruck with a D mint mark for Denver. In this case, the initial S can be seen towards the top left of the D mint mark, with almost the entire top rounding of the S and a partial serif discernible in this manner. During 2021, we saw a PCGS graded coin with a grade of MS67 sold at auction by Stax Bowers for the amount of $22,800. Now, as we get nearer to the end of the list, we have definitely the most famous coin on here, the 1955 double die obverse Lincoln cent. No clearer example of this variety type exists. The spread between the impressions is so wide that two full separate images appear on the coin. The effect is that every single letter and number of the date is doubled dramatically. This example was sold in 2023 when Stuart Blaze Red Copper Collection was dispersed. Graded by PCGS as MS65 plus red, it saw a final price at auction of $287,156. And then, for the coin in the number 1 position, the rarest and most valuable variety coin in the 1950s, is without any doubt the 1958 double die obverse wheat cent. The coin is incredibly scarce, with only 3 examples known to exist. Like the 1955 coin, here too the obverse has been doubled, but in this case the doubling is stronger on the letters of "In God We Trust", with the letters displaying the doubling towards the left in all cases. In addition to this, the letters of "Liberty" are also all doubled towards the south, becoming stronger as you move towards the rim of the coin. In 2023, Great Collections conducted a sale of one of these coins, graded as PCGS MS65 Red. By auction's close, it had raised a record-setting $1,136,250. Subscribe to WNN and feel free to watch the top 10 variety coins from the 1960s next, right here. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, keep collecting, and have a fantastic day.